Hey, what's up? This is Antonio. Welcome back to my channel. Now, who's ready for some fighting words? In this video, I want to talk about Oleksandr Usyk. It looks like him and Tyson Fury, it just ain't gonna happen. Usyk versus Fury is basically Crawford versus Spence. And that ain't gonna happen. It's dead in the water. That's, at least at this moment, it's dead in the water. Of course, it's over money. It's always over money. So who's next? Well, it looks like up to bat is Daniel Dubois. Yeah. And that's a tough order because that's a completely different fighter than Tyson Fury. I mean, he presents his own dangers. Tyson Fury presents a thinking man who could outclass you. Daniel Dubois presents a hard-hitting guy who's going to walk you down and who's going to be in your face and who's young, who's fit, who can follow Usyk. So that's a whole nother animal. However, how do I see that fight playing out? Dubois can win. Usyk, listen, here's the thing about Usyk. I think he's like a supersized version of Vasily Lomachenko. But Usyk does get hit. His fight with Anthony Joshua, he got hit, especially the first one. He got hit. And it's just basically, he can be hit. All right, that's great. But imagine being hit by somebody who's young and really believes in himself. AJ, as we all know, after recent years, is not the same AJ that fought Klitschko. He's not that guy. You know, I'm not saying we can't get him back, but at the current moment, he's not that guy. Daniel Dubois is that guy. Daniel Dubois believes in himself. Daniel Dubois is coming off a knockout. Daniel Dubois is young. Daniel Dubois, no. Does he have all the skills and the attributes as Oleksandr Usyk? No, of course he doesn't. He doesn't have half the pedigree as Oleksandr Usyk. But can he? Yes, absolutely. Dude hits hard. Yes. Dude is aggressive. Dude is fast. Yes, he can. I would probably favor Usyk just because I know. So here's the thing. Usyk does get hit, but he can take a punch. I mean, Anthony Joshua is no pillar puncher. He hits hard. And for Usyk to take several of Anthony Joshua's punches, and it doesn't matter if they weren't, in sequence back to back to back, he still took several big shots. And he fought Chisora. Chisora is no light puncher either. So, but also on the flip hand side, Chisora caught him a few times as well. So Usyk is durable. We can check that box. He fought two power punchers, fought one twice. We can check that box. He's a durable guy. He's not just some slick fighter. He's not just some amazing boxer. He can take a punch. He's not light in that sense. He's not soft in that sense. But I guess the overall question is, can Daniel Dubois, it's not a question of can Dubois hit Usyk. The question is, can he follow up after he hits Usyk? That's the question. That's the question. Because Chisora couldn't follow up. Joshua couldn't follow up. Dubois would follow up. Dubois would definitely follow up. I'm not saying he's going to beat Usyk or he could beat Usyk, but I think he would follow up. So that's one half of this video. The other half is I think there's going to be, a play for some step-aside money. I think that Deontay Wilder really likes that Usyk fight. And I think he wants to be the man all over again. And the easiest and the safest way to get to that point is to pay Daniel some money. You say, and say, you sit over here in the sidelines, let myself and Usyk handle this out. And then afterwards, I guess you're free to come back to the table, I guess. Because I suppose at that point he would be Deontay Wilder's mandatory. But that being said, that presents its own problems as well. Because Deontay Wilder doesn't have the best footwork. He's a lot smaller than Daniel Dubois, who's a lot smaller than Fury. So it's just like these are completely different contrasting in styles. But that presents it presents a problem in itself. So, can Oleksandr Usyk outbox Deontay Wilder any day of the week? Yes, he can. He can outpoint Deontay Wilder from Monday through Sunday. Not a problem. Repeatedly. Not a problem. I don't question if Oleksandr Usyk can beat Deontay Wilder in a point fight. Yes, he's going to demolish Deontay Wilder in a point fight. He's going to run laps and circles around Deontay Wilder. The question is, what happens when Deontay Wilder puts his hands on Usyk? Because Deontay Wilder only needs one punch. Deontay Wilder only needs 1 second, and this whole thing can be finished. That's the interesting thing about the fight. That's always going to be the interesting thing about a Deontay Wilder fight. What we know he can do. His potential. Well, potentially, he can have Usyk out of there in a stretcher. Potentially, Usyk could spend the night in the hospital. Potentially, that's the reality when you're fighting Deontay Wilder. And I got to tell you, he's looking slick with Malik Scott. I think the Malik Scott style with Deontay Wilder didn't work with Fury. Not to say Deontay Wilder versus Fury. Not to say that Deontay would have won either way. I'm just saying I don't think what Malik Scott is teaching Deontay Wilder and drilling him on is great for a big guy. But for a thinner Deontay Wilder, his natural weight's like 218 to 225 or something like that. He's even gone down as low as I think 214 or something like that. So Deontay Wilder's just not a naturally big guy, but that can work in his favor. Usyk is all about speed, and he's all about just volume. Now you put a Deontay Wilder, who's a lot smaller in frame. Deontay Wilder can take some hits too. He can take a punch. I mean, you had a 270-pound Tyson Fury hitting you. And I don't care what anybody says about Tyson Fury being a pillow puncher. You can say that all you want. That's a 270-plus pound man. There's nothing pillowish about his punches. Whether you like him or not, there's just nothing pillow-ish about a guy that size hitting you. It's going to hurt. I don't care what he hits. It's going to hurt. If he punches the wall's going to scream. That's a big dude. And Deontay Wilder was on his feet. He took some punishment, got back up, took some more punishment, got back up, took some more punishment. So, and then said he'd rather, go out on his shield in the end. So, he's a durable guy. Usyk is not going to knock anybody out. He's not going to knock out, Deontay Wilder, I don't believe. He is going to run laps around him, though. But I don't foresee him knocking out Deontay Wilder. I think the things that we see with Malik Scott, the question is, can Deontay Wilder do those things in the moment? They look great on the pads. He looks amazing when he's doing these little videos on Instagram. But the question is, we have yet to see him do that in a live fight. So we don't know. We don't know. His last fight was way too fast. It ended way too quickly. So we don't know. He didn't get an opportunity to showcase a lot of the things that he's been working on. So we don't know. This would be a great opportunity because, now granted, Deontay Wilder could easily knock out Oleksandr Usyk in the first round. That's, like I said, that's not a question. That can happen at any point in the fight. But I think this fight, because of who he's fighting, Oleksandr Usyk, Usyk's no dummy. Usyk will be cautious. He's a cautious fighter. He's not the type of guy who's just going to run in there and do something stupid. He's definitely not the type of guy who's going to stand in front of Deontay Wilder. That would be insane. He is daring, though. I mean, he did stand in front of AJ. But again, we're talking about a different mind AJ. A changed-minded AJ. Let me say it like that. Yeah, he stood in front of Derek Chisora, but Derek Chisora is old and slow. Punch drunk, old and slow. So it's a different mentality. Would Oleksandr Usyk stand in front of Daniel Dubious? I doubt it. That would be a bad move. I doubt it. Would he stand in front of Deontay Wilder? I doubt it. Deontay Wilder's pretty fast in himself, and not to mention, like I said, he's not a naturally big guy. Technically, it'll be a cruiserweight fight because Usyk is not a big guy and Deontay Wilder's not a big guy. So now we're talking about a world championship heavyweight cruiser fight. That's basically what it would be. But obviously, there would be different tactics. But I do think Usyk is a durable guy. I think he's. I mean, you know, with the fights with AJ and the fight with Chisora, proved that he could take sustainable punishment, you know, from a bigger guy if he has to, and he did that. But like I said, the question is, number one, who's he gonna fight? Is he gonna fight Daniel Dubois, or is he gonna fight Deontay Wilder? And I do know that Deontay Wilder's team, you know, Shelly Finkel and all those guys, they want that fight for Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder wants that fight for himself. So I do know that. And listen, money changes everything. You put enough money in front of Daniel Dubois, he's young. It doesn't matter to him. Like, he has the time. He can afford time to sit down and sit on the sidelines because he's young. It's not like he's in his 30s, or if he was in his 30s, it's not like he's in his late 30s. No, he's young. He's in his 20s. He could sit around and wait for a year, possibly, if he would. If let's just say if he has to, he can sit around and wait for a year, or just fight somebody else in the interim to keep himself busy. But it's worth it. I guess it would be worth it, you know, because quite frankly, I feel like Daniel Dubois has a better shot at beating Deontay Wilder than he does at beating Oleksandr Usyk. So I think for him, let's all play some chess right here. I think Usyk needs to figure out who's going to be better for my resume. Obviously, Deontay Wilder is going to be better for Oleksandr Usyk's resume, without a shadow of a doubt. Only one man has beaten him, and that is arguably the best heavyweight there is to date. And I'm saying to date because he's the biggest. Well, you know, and so yeah, maybe sure, that would make sense. If I can get Deontay Wilder on my resume, yeah, that makes sense. And also in terms of what they're going to generate, Daniel Dubois is not a big deal in America like he is in the UK. He's just not. However, Deontay Wilder, it doesn't matter where he fights. Deontay Wilder, it doesn't matter where he fights. He's going to be a big deal. Now, you can, marketing-wise, you can generate a lot of money from that. That could be a really, really big fight because of all the factors in the fight. You're talking about the pedigree of Usyk. You're talking about the guys that Usyk has fought. You're talking about him cleaning out a whole division and then cleaning out a whole weight class. Then you're talking about Deontay Wilder destroying many guys in the ring. You're talking about him doing all these fights with arguably the greatest heavyweight that there is, and doing it 3 times, you know. And so yeah, there's a lot at stake, and there's a lot that you can play on in terms of marketing and getting all the money you can get from a fight. And who knows where this fight's going to be. I'd probably say it'd probably be someplace like Dubai or someplace like that. I don't foresee it being Vegas, but it could be. I mean, it could be, but I think you could probably get more money out there. At this point, the way it's starting to be, you know, the fight town, I think you could probably get more money out of Dubai. But I think it would make more sense for Oleksandr Usyk to fight Deontay Wilder than to fight Daniel Dubois. Not to say that Dubois is a nobody or anything like that, but he doesn't have the name, he doesn't have the resume, and he doesn't present the same type of danger as well. And so you have that caution factor. Like when you look at Deontay Wilder, there's just so many things that makes this a compelling fight. He could potentially knock Usyk into the 3rd row. Daniel Dubois could beat Usyk into the 3rd row, but I don't think he's going to knock him into the 3rd row. So, and as long as you have that danger factor lurking in the air, it's always going to be compelling and it's always going to be marketable. And Deontay Wilder's looking good based off his last fight. He's very happy. He's very complacent where he is in life, and he's got his hunger back. So you put all that in the ring with Oleksandr Usyk. Oh, we're talking big numbers. Daniel Dubois doesn't present that. He just doesn't. So those are my thoughts. Who do you think that Usyk would go with? Do you think he'd go with Daniel Dubois, or do you think that there would be some step-aside money and Deontay Wilder can slide in there and get that fight? And if you do think that could happen with Deontay Wilder, who do you have winning? Drop your thoughts down below. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Please like, please share, please subscribe to this channel.